Well, there's an ominous noise. This is Sceptre of Baghdad by John Wells again, who did Twin Tigers in the last issue. This is a weird one. It's a conversion of a Spectrum game, but quite an old Spectrum game. It's like 5-6 years at this point. The story so far, evil wizard nicks the Sceptre of Baghdad, we're the Caliph, we have to go get it back. Yeah, spin on. Really quite nicely presented this, but it's basically a cross between sort of Dizzy and Jet Set Willy, really. Also, there's a grand total of 1 puzzle in this demo, which kind of limits your ability to see what it's going to be like in the full version. 2 puzzles I suppose, if you count rubbing the genie's lamp with the hanky in order to get hints. I say hints, I mean random quotes from Gauntlet. I shouldn't have bothered with this room, I don't need that object at all, in any way. Or any of the other objects, really. Can't go through this door, I think it's only available in the full version. And this is it, the one object we actually need. If I can figure out the slightly weird controls for the inventory here. And that is a straight nod to Jet Set Willy, I think. Some really nice music in this as well. It's by Feekzoid, who did a bunch of other stuff for some of the late 64 stuff. Just carefully avoid this bee. And that's it. That is literally all you can do in this demo. I think this actually fell through and he ended up having to release it through mail order. The Atlantis software folded or didn't take the game or went out of the C64 business full stop, I think. Oh well. Haha, don't believe what this title screen says. This game isn't called Monster at all. It's actually called the Muncher. It's that game I mentioned a few issues back where they hastily bolted on the Chewits license to earn some extra cash. It's the sadly neglected genre, the Godzilla 'em up. Eat people to gain points, gain hit points, stomp on various trucks and whatnot, and generally cause carnage. Plus you can smack buildings around with your tail. Good fun this, kinda samey though, and the tape version, which this is, has a kind of sort of crappy multi-load. There's meant to be some sort of mechanic where you get your eggs and sort of plant them in nuclear waste, and that is your sort of restart point if you die. Doesn't work in this, you just sort of go back to the level you're on at any particular time to save you having to reload it from tape again. Also there's some sort of mechanic where your flame breath runs out after a while. Apart from that, really nice fun. Alternative World Games, a piss take of all those summer, winter, California games. games. This was a disaster. I couldn't find a decent set of instructions for this, and they're far more complex events than your standard joystick wagglers that you get in the other ones. That is one smug parrot. Right, let's be Britain. There we are. That's not our anthem, lads. Never mind. Anyway, in order. The sack race. Shuffle along until you get to the finish. That dog is meant to help by dragging you back if you fall behind, but it just ruins your rhythm, as often as not. Pile of plates! A fun little gently try and sidle your way to the finish while carrying as many plates as possible game. Boot toss, the discus game you always got in these, but with a boot. River cross, the pole vault game you always got in these, but with a river. Climb the pole. You have to climb the pole. Climb the wall. A baffling thing where you have to catch a hat dropped by a pigeon and stick it as high on a wall as you can. Pillow fight. The only one I managed to win, and that was by button mashing. Pogo stick. Wander around trying to pop balloons with unresponsive tank controls, and I got stuck in a trench and couldn't figure out how to get out. Oh dear. Deflektor. Or, as the Amiga version more correctly had it, Deflektor. Neat little puzzle game this. Fire your laser round, bounce it off mirrors. If you reflect it back on itself, it overloads. If you hit the mines, it overloads. You have limited energy, stroke time really, in order to destroy all the balls and get the laser back to the receiver there. Various blocks teleport your laser around, bounce them around, randomly only let them through at certain angles, and so on. One fault really is that it's kind of easy to brute force this. Just spin each mirror around a few times to see what it hits, and then work from there. Can never remember how to get this last one. Hang on, if I just... There we go. Oops. Later levels get a bit annoying. They add sort of gremlins who wander around and randomly screw up your mirror placements. Also features one of the finest trolls of the player I've ever seen. This is the last level which I got via cheating back in the day. It's completely random.